go. Most powerful ability in the game acquired. The run is going to get quite a bit more crazy very soon.
Absolutely massive, Toadette. Grips just took a few deaths getting sent back to that safety state.
I heard you guys like lore, right? Well, we have go fast left, we have go fast up with enemy, we have go fast down, and now we have go fast up without enemy. Charge jump acquired.
Hello, hello! We are back with the quarterfinals in the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament of 2022, featuring Dedew and nfnite. We have two excellent runners, as you can see from their points in the tournament. We have seed number 3 against seed number 6. My name is 2kill and I will be commentating the first match alongside OG. OG, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. I was already, yawning in this past half hour, so I'm looking forward to taking us through the first 2 runs. But I'm sure that these, 2 races will be more than exciting enough to keep me awake.
Yeah, looking at the times, they definitely can be, and both runners kind of mentioned that they didn't feel like they had enough preparation to do, although said that he was feeling the game today and just hoping to get 2 quick runs to close out 2-0 and yeah, go on to the next round. And nfnite kind of, followed along and said that he does not feel that he has a chance against Dedew, especially considering this is a best of 3, but he will definitely try his best. And of course, we have a difference in input method, don't we, OG?
Yeah, so nfnite will be, he's on his way to the dark side, really. He's sort of like Anakin. He's already taken that first step forward, He's already doing hybrid, so, for some of the harder tricks, fast stompless, he'll be swapping over to KBM. He'll also be using scroll wheel for Frankie fight, and I think for Ginso mini boss as well. But he will not be using other scroll wheel for any sort of double bashes. Instead, he's using the right analog stick method for those.
Yeah, interesting for sure. And we have seen a bunch of hybrid runners in the tournament, but I do believe nfnite is the top of the crop for these. And having been already in these quarterfinals, definitely showing some great skills off. And of course, he has the world record in SBS, Signless Specialist Stompless, which we won't be doing, but we will get into the race fairly shortly. And yeah, OG, since you're here, how many OG energies will we see in Glades?
Or in just this race, I'm gonna go with 5. Because I think last time I comboed, I don't think that there was any. So we will see, if we get some more OG energies in this race.
Yeah, definitely need to make up that statistics. But 5,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not too sure if we will see that.
between the 2 of them,
Yeah.
I feel like 2.5 is like is bad, but it's not god awful.
Yeah, that is actually fair. But with that, we are in the race. We saw nfnite using the mouse, using the scroll wheel to go
Unbelievable.
through the prologue skip a bit faster. So yeah. And we're also getting some info that people had 3 energy, specifically Dedew in a previous race, so I guess maybe we can see it. Of course, that is not an OG energy, that is just our normal energy to save. And hopefully we will get some synchronized Frankie fight and our runners can go through with this. Yeah, so while we go here, yeah, we don't really... We have talked about the runners a bit. We have said what else they run, but nothing much about their route. Dedew on his side is using his PB attempt run route, which is fairly safe for these kind of races. Infinite also trying to keep it safe and will not go for too much crazy stuff. But for now, we went through, and yeah, Glades can be a place of hidden time loss, but so far our runners are really synced.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie Fight is really the start of the Glades time loss. We sort of see it already with Dedew just pulling a little bit ahead. But I mean, it's just, you know, as long as you've got decent execution, it's like toss a coin, let's see who's actually going to come out ahead, because it really is, you know, pretty close to RNG in terms of how your performance is going to go. You know, whether the rock's just going to get caught on the ground and, you know, decide not to be pulled out, you know, just it's just random, really. You know, like obviously there's skill involved here, but you know, when you know what you're doing, it all tends to go pretty smoothly.
Yeah. As those ghost doors went just now, both runners getting through there smoothly. You can see both heading up to get the 4th health cell. Definitely a wise choice in these kind of situations, as later on everything will deal 3 damage. So you want to survive a hit. And there is an energy on the side of Dedew. Didn't pick it up though. So, so far I did not see any. So your 5 guess might not come true.
Yeah,
Sorry
I
to
mean,
disappoint.
I saw one in the Frankie fight on Didew's side as well. So we'll see, but yeah, I think that, you know, we're going to end up with like at most 4. We sort of just got to hope that this Suicide Slime grabs
Oh,
or
Infinite
drops a
already
couple.
leveling up on the spike wall. We'll lose some time, whereas Dedew got the level up on the right slime wall, or well barrier. So slight advantage on the side of Dedew, but hopefully won't be too meaningful for the later part of the XP routing.
Yeah, I mean, both of our runners are going quick flame, so you know they're going to pretty easily be able to make sure that they have, you know, roughly enough XP. Some of the issues that you can have with Magnet when you level up at the top, or like, you know, super early at the top, is then when you're killing this spore wall on the right here, as Infinite is just about to start trying to kill it. Because it also dies in like literally the worst way possible. Like all of the worst spores die first. You end up collecting way more XP than you need, and then that can make BRB a little bit wonky. But it didn't look like he actually grabbed all that much, you know, in terms of extra XP. So I imagine XP management will be fine for both of our runners.
Yeah, hopefully. You don't want to miss Frankie Walk, and we see some safety save on the side of Dedew. That can definitely save some time if you die on the way to the teleporter to not get reset all the way back to Wall Jump Tree, but looks like he's going through just fine. So that safety save really just a safety save, not used too much, but with that 35 XP to gain, so needs to kill 2 slimes for everything to work. And yeah, going quick flame, as you mentioned, to go a bit faster. So let's see what Infinite decides to go for this race. Seems like he's going to go for rekindle, because he also can only kill 2 slimes, which kind of indicates, oh, Dedew almost falling off, that he does not go for quick flame this race and rather go the safe magnet route.
I'm not sure if he'll be going Magnet. My guess is that going Rekindle just, you know, is just to make BRB a little bit easier. Like sometimes when you're in a race and you've had something not like catastrophic, but it's just like, oh my god, really? Have I really leveled up at the top on the way down to wall jump? You know, something that it just doesn't happen when you're just doing runs. Like, you know, I can't remember the last time that that happened to me, and Infinite is a significantly better runner than I. So, you know, sometimes when you're in that mindset, it's just like, oh, okay, it's going to be one of those runs. Cool. Let me just get Rekindle, so then I can just place a couple of dumb safety saves so I don't have to spend more time in the dark than I have to. And then he can collect Quick Flame.
Okay,
When he's
but
doing this
looking
cutscene
at what
stack.
Infinite provided to us for before the race, he will actually be going magnet for
God damn it.
safety.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So,
Oops, my bad.
yeah, don't worry. Commentating and reading is hard. But with that, yeah, both runners heading into the last room. Seems like we don't get to see any new shenanigans. And never mind. We get to see some new cutscene stack on the side of Dedew, who is 11 off of leveling, so just about fine. Can actually be, needs to be a bit careful, I would say, to not lose too much of the XP. On Infinite's side with 10 XP and Magnet, which he will probably skill, should be fine. But of course, Frankie Walk can always be hard, and you never know how Billy might troll you. But so far,
Yeah.
hopefully the cutscene stacks go well.
Yeah, looks like Dedew is going for the upper save method. And we'll have to see what Infinite decides to go for. Decides to do the same movement actually. Dedew does manage to do his blind movement, perfectly fine. Somewhat suboptimal movement there for Infinite. Won't end up doing the blind movement. But we'll see if he's able to catch any of it up. And Dedew is just about to start his Frankie Walk.
Yeah. Hopefully Billy not being a problem, does not get stuck under there. Infinite now through as well. We have about a 16-second time difference of our two runners as of dash tree, so nothing too major and nothing that can't be caught up, but a comfortable lead for the early game, and there's an energy drop on the side of Dedew, so not even saving, okay, just going through with it. As Infinite is now also at the spikes. Dedew, yep, there's the save right before the spores, and is through, absolutely no problem, and continues on. Infinite also gets his Frankie Walk. Let's see how his that gauntlet goes. Hopefully no deaths on his side. Yep, sneaks under the Frankie. The spores are destroyed carefully and is also through, so good job on both sides. I did not see if Dedew got God Cycle, but it looked to me as you did.
Yes, he just managed to squeeze his way through. It was one of those attempts where it looks like, Ori's just about to get squished, but, just manages to eke his way through. We'll see if Infinite manages to catch the same cycle. Does look like he got it with a bit more ease than Dedew did. But, even though it was only sort of 16 seconds-ish at the, at Dash Tree, because Infinite wasn't able to get that cutscene stack going properly, he didn't end up doing the blind movement. So that gap would have widened a little bit. And speaking of blind movement, we just saw Dedew with some pretty clean blind movement. Did take a little bit of damage on the way up. But, on the whole, pretty clean on the way out of double jump trees. Infinite is just attempting the same thing.
Yeah. And is also... Oh, no, did not quite get to the wall, but absolutely no problem. The baguette jump with ease from Dedew, making sure to show off he is French, and gaining those frames, because we all know frames are very important. Climbing the grotto walls with ease, making it look easy and not slippery at all, as... yeah, Infinite also getting first try grotto skip. Also, no, not going for the baguette jump. Knows he is not a French guy and does not need to prove anything, so can go through with ease as well. So, yeah, on to Ginso Tree we go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, when you have to do, the citizenship test or whatever, to become a French citizen, they'll just hand you Ori and they go, here, do this jump. I mean, I would attempt a French accent, but, it's just going to be bad, so I'm just not. And, whether you can or can't, it's how they can determine whether they do it. Infinite does manage to climb up these grotto walls pretty well, sort of similarly with Dedew, thankfully placing down a safety save right before he dash glides into some spikes. And we'll see if Infinite's able to save some time by not dying there.
Yeah, I mean, that is only a minor time save, I do believe. Dedew also got the hyperspeed save, but is now moving on to the swamp teleporter. So let's see on the side of Infinite. He's going for the same safety save, very understandable, and does not die. So slight time save on his side. As the dude takes a hit from the spinners, that might be intentional. I'm not too sure about his HP route approaching Ginso. Gets the cutscene skip, and Infinite is hot on his heels. Like, both runners are still very close onto each other. And as Dedew is entering Ginso here, yeah, we will see how much he struggles in this dungeon. This dungeon is also very famous to give some troubles if you are not very careful about your movement.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes to show, the skill of these two runners. We have had a little bit of spaghetti on both sides, but the fact is that even with that spaghetti, Infinite being a little bit more of an Italian run, a little bit more spaghetti, he's really not that far behind. At 12-14, Ginso is still respectable. Did you manage to make that Gamer Fast Cycle look free? It is unfortunately not. We'll see if Infinite is able to catch the same cycle. So the big problem with catching this cycle, which Infinite doesn't go for, is you have to do like little dashes on top of those platforms. And Ori just really loves to just ramp you down and go, hey, you know how you were doing well in this speedrun? Not anymore, because now you're dead. So, Infinite taking it a little bit safer. We'll see if he's able to catch Asma's cycle as he does, and Dedew just polishes off the first Ginso mini-boss.
Yeah, and on the state of the race, we have a 30-second difference on entering Ginso, and Dedew is actually behind of his PB by 9 seconds currently, so is having a really, really good run so far. Let's see if Infinite can also go make quick work of that mini boss. Is of course not going to be as fast as Dedew was. We didn't quite get the 3 cycles, but still made quick work. So Infinite actually, almost got the 4 cycle. Just a few extra hits. As Dedew got Bash and the 100 XP for the backup because he did not catch the mini boss XP. So quite aware of his routing in terms of XP. Very well done. Let's hope Infinite doesn't have any problems in that regard as well. And we are on to Keydupe on Dedew's side.
Yeah, here we get to everybody's, favorite reset point in the game, which is upper Ginso, because, all of the bit, beforehand, you can sort of play safe and go, oh, okay, it's fine, I won't go for the fast gamer cycle. But once you get bashed when you're at, upper Ginso tree, it sort of feels like you really start to gain momentum in the run. So, it's, at least for me, it feels like, oh, we're actually going fast. We're actually, we're actually doing the speed run. We're actually doing the thing. So hopefully our runners will both be able to make their way up through the top of the Ginso tree, or close to the top of the Ginso tree, without too much of an issue. Dedew was able to polish off the significantly harder second mini boss. That's why it's second, of course, because it's just so much more difficult. Infinite almost takes a dip into the spikes there, and then almost gets ramped down into the spikes again, but does manage to recover both of them. And he will be, demolishing this second boss as well.
Yeah, and one interesting thing I want to point out is that Dedew didn't catch the upper mini-boss XP as well. Instead, I do believe he will take a dip into the dirty water here before Ringo to obtain some extra XP, which is just something he does and something very interesting to see. So let's see if he goes for that or if he takes that on the way back. But for now, just going to do swamp entry. So no shots phasing, absolutely no problem. Makes this trick also look easy. Like both runners just pulling out all the tricks without any problems. Did they get the hyperspeed save? Yes, he did.
Yeah, that looks pretty
very
clean.
satisfying.
Yeah, that one, there's no splice there. That was a pretty pretty obvious that he had managed to catch that one, you know, in comparison to some of the other hyperspeeds that we may or may not have seen in the past. Infinite deciding to watch the laser cutscene, and he's just making his way through with Ringo as well. Hopefully we won't have any shots phasing through, and you know, similarly, just as easy for Infinite to get through Swamp Entry as it was for Dedew. Not going for this hyperspeed, but I'm pretty sure that the time save there is, you know, pretty minimal. It's only a second or so.
Yeah, and Dedew taking Ringo for the second trick and pulling it off without any problems. Ringo behaving nicely so far. Hopefully that will also still stand with Infinite's second go on this, well, not quite mini-boss, but definitely opponent of the game. And now nothing, nope, there is something to see on Dedew's side. We'll try
What?
that trick again.
I don't
Headed
think
out
I've ever
there's a
seen anything
hyperspeed
there.
wave.
I don't think I've
And
ever
it's-
actually seen anything there. So, what was actually there, Jill? I actually wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, he almost made us watch it, but not quite. You saw him reset there to make sure we don't see any lore, because lore is bad, as we all
Yes,
know.
of course. Horrific.
So skipping
Anyway.
just another 2-second time save cutscene or something like that to get to Sea Flame Tree as quickly as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was still ahead of PB at this time.
Yeah, I've just pulled up his splits because I was just compiling meme split, and it looks like in his current PB has a 1807 charge flame. Yeah, and this looks like a sort of 1750-ish. So, you know, if his PB is the same one that's on the leaderboard, this definitely looks like a really solid pace from Dedew.
Yeah, absolutely insane, especially in a race. Infinite also doing really well. Like, no major hiccups from either side, but you can see the difference in experience and comfiness in the run. As Dedew mentioned, he is feeling kind of confident right now. Infinite not as much, didn't have the time he would have liked to practice a bit more. Dedew even doing the double bashes to get up quicker, and yeah, going to his next tree is just so insanely fast. As yeah, the difference between the runners is growing, but nothing too major just yet. A slow hiccup could still make that up, and Dedew having some troubles with the bird boss, but gets the ability cell now, so no problem. Can skill his charge dash as it is his usual route, and will continue to pass Sumpless. And no comments on the angle of this, because it is impossible to tell as a commentator. So maybe that hits, maybe it doesn't. We will see. And
Yeah,
it
look,
did
I
not
wasn't super sold on that. That looked a little bit low to me. You know, as the resident expert in missing fast omplet shots. But yeah, I mean, that bird boss really, you know, I reckon that was actually Kuro just sitting there, you know, the true bird boss of the game, as, you know, for the second time, with the second attempt rather, Dedew does manage to get fast stompless. So this is actually, you know, we could see Infinite catch up a decent amount, you know, especially if there's any sort of tilt factor of, you know, what was like a PB pace now, you know, less of a PB pace. And I wasn't sure, did Infinite catch that top cell?
Yeah, he caught that cell, I'm pretty sure. So
Awesome.
fast Stumpless, no set cellless, as we head into Sorrow on both sides actually, and as you mentioned, Infinite catching up quite a bit. And I would argue that Kuro actually isn't the bird boss, because we never actually fight her. We just escape from her. Whereas like the bird boss we do fight, so well, yeah, but not
Yeah,
distracting from the
okay,
runners as
fair enough.
Infinite takes a death, and that will set him back quite a bit.
Yeah, quite unfortunate to have that setback, and he's going to not place a safety save there. will instead go through and just go for Sorry Bash once more. Does get it pretty easily. You know, it is a pretty free trick, and I've got no idea how he didn't brutally murder that bird. Just sort of phased through it, but I guess that it didn't phase him, and he's just continuing through Sorry Pass as if nothing happened.
Yeah, both runners going through quite nicely, and Dedew will be getting his Sandstone just as Infinite is about to get his charge jump. So really no big difference, and the Death and Misty could still change things. However, both runners mentioned that they will be a bit more careful, so will be interesting to see whether we see some safety saves or how Misty will go. For now, just making sure to get their safe anywheres where they need to be. I do believe that got the Sunstone and skipped the cutscene, so good on Dedew. You really don't want to miss Sunstone. That would, yeah, kind of end your run. So hopefully
Who would
everything
miss
went
Sunstone?
well.
Who would do that? Who would miss Sunstone?
Yeah.
You know,
Why
no
would
one.
you ever?
No idea. I don't think that that's actually ever happened. As
Oh!
Dedew wanting to make the race just a little bit closer, going for the second high five in the same split here, making his way back up to the Sunstone with that. Looks like he may not have let go of charge, or that that charge dash did not quite go off properly. Does get through it this time as Infinite, has sort of caught back up without really doing much. So, the time to get from the top of Sunstone down, to the start of Misty, it's sort of 20-30 seconds-ish. So, yeah, one Misty death, and, this is right back being even Stevens.
But yeah, so far in Misty, Dedew not making any big mistakes, any troubles, not skipping the cutscene, no safety save here. We saw that in some other races, but Infinite also in Misty. We see all those nice charge dashes for quick movement. Yeah, let's see if Dedew can avoid these spikes. They are fairly dangerous. Yep, gets through. Oh god. Oh, Dedew. My heart.
Everything's
But he is
fine.
at the climb tree. Everything is
Yep.
fine.
Fine.
Whew.
Yeah, I agree. Everything's just like totally fine there. Definitely wasn't super close to the spikes. And he stomped back down. That was an interesting stair cancel. Sort of after taking his time with the Sorry, my brain has just died.
Yeah, understandable.
After taking his time
but
on the
oh
way
god,
in,
Dedew.
it's a bit slower on the way out. And that seems to have affected some of his movement here. So he's just going to place a safety save down so he's not sent all the way back down to climb tree to do all of this spaghetti movement yet again, as it just continues to be spaghetti after spaghetti, just plate after plate handed out over on the side of Dedew, and now Infinite serving some up for us as well, with a costly death there at that third keystone, sending him all the way back to the climb tree.
Yeah, both runners just showing that Misty, which most of the time just looks smooth and easy, is actually a very hard area to play. So, oh, yep, Dedew having to do the backup of going around this way, and is out of energy. So let's see if he will even save before that. No, decides to straight go for the mini boss. And yeah, I at least thought there was a mini boss. I'm not too sure about it anymore. Let's see if we can see, hopefully not on the side of Infinite, if there are some mini bosses there. And hopefully both runners will get out of Misty smoothly from here on. And it looks like Dedew is making his way and is almost out. And I am pretty sure he has a breath of relief at this point.
Yeah, well, he does. Infinite, just with the... you think that he's all in the clear, and then out of nowhere, bang, it's another plate of spaghetti. He hasn't picked up enough XP, even with Magnet. It does look like he's a little bit short, so he's going to try and murder this slime to get the level up a little bit later on. So he will be a little bit more delayed. But again, this is like one death in the escape away, you know, like a couple of door warps away. Like, you know, this run isn't quite dead yet.
Yeah, definitely. For both runners, it still means they need to execute at their best, and both are in Blackroot at the same time, hitting the trees. Dedew is slightly in first still, and making sure probably to not miss any of these upcoming grenade jumps, so we will see if he goes for them. And he indeed does not want to take the risk of the first one. I'm not too sure how comfortable he is with that one. So, yeah, it's definitely a good decision in that kind of situation, as Infinite is dash gliding over the cutscene trigger as well, whereas Dedew is almost at his 5th health cell and will teleport to Swamp to get to Horror. So, yeah, just about one Blackroot burrows apart right now. We will see how close Infinite can get, or whether Dedew just finishes out with some great execution.
Yeah, it does get an energy drop on that score, which will help him out. Infinite getting a little bit trolled by that laser cycle there, costing him a little bit of time that he would have liked to catch up. Does look like Dedew's going to get this new grenade jump first try. Does manage to recover before he gets absolutely decked by that Baneling. And it looks like there's about 40-second difference-ish between the two runners. So that's one death in the escape, or you know, I don't know, like
A
6
failed grenade jump.
warp attempts.
A failed
Yeah,
final grenade jump could also
it
mean
is indeed.
that difference. But Dedew, not giving Dorwarp any chance, gets it first try. Of course, the first attempt is a bit more lenient than a frame, but is through, and we don't even get to see half the escape because he is doing wolf skip, but is already in the lantern room, so no problem there. Hopefully we'll go smooth sailing from here on out, as Infinite is now going for door warp attempts. Let's see if he can get that trick first try as well. No, does not look like it is. First try. Second try is the charm though, so can now activate the final escape as well, as Dedew is now in the last room, just needs to bash to the left, as it turns out is very important, and set up for the final grenade jump. GG, that is first game to him.
GG. So Dedew will take this first game. Not super surprising to see Dedew go for warmth skip there, especially given what happened at the latter half of Misty. Dedew did mention that there was a chance that he would check the restream at around Feather, so he would have known that there was a little bit of leeway. But after the death sending him back to Sunstone, and then all of the spaghetti, exiting Misty, I'm not too surprised that Dedew just pulled out the stops to try and finish it off clean. Does look like Infinite is going to get through most of this final escape pretty clean. Does miss the first attempt at the grenade jump, but gets the second one super cleanly as well. So GG
Yeah,
to
GG.
both our runners.
And as this is a best of 3, this means this is not over yet. Infinite still has a chance to move along if he manages to pull off 2 victories in a row. We will have the next match after a 10-minute break to give both our runners and us commentators and everyone involved and you all a chance to catch a breath, get some snacks, get something to
Do
drink.
some trials.
Do some
plenty of
trials.
time. Yeah. Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, so I do believe you are commentating the next match with Absogami, so
Indeed I am.
yeah, we will leave you for a quick break.
We will. Thank you for casting this first game with me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Thanks for casting with me as well, and yeah, we will see you in just about 10 minutes.
See you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to game 2 of this all skills match between Dedew and Infinite. I'm still OG. Jill has left me, unfortunately. She's, gone to commentate greener pastures, but instead, I have back with me the wonderful Absugami.
Hello, still OG. I'm Robogami, and well, I changed. I had new, vocal parts installed, so now you can understand what I'm saying. And well, we will
Fantastic.
be watching the second game of Dedew against Infinite.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be doing more than just watching. That would make for a slightly uninteresting, restream. I mean,
I'm fine with
yes,
just
we've got all
watching,
the yeah, yeah. I mean, we can try that if you want. We can just watch their prologue skip. We can see how they go.
Yeah, prologue skip is like the most important trick in the game. I think, like,
Yeah,
really, it's really not that easy. I mean, you've got to press like a few keys.
yeah, and like if you scroll on it and you get game storage, then like that's it. It's just all over.
Yeah, game storage is really dangerous. And there they go, starting the game. Prologue skip, nicely executed on both sides. Dedew seems
I'm
to
glad
be
that
a
we were able to
little
watch
bit
that
ahead.
together, Absu.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's like the best thing I've seen today. The way they just press down, and I don't know if they're scrolling or just pressing one key. But yeah, both of them did a really great prologue skip. And now they're playing the
Yeah.
game, which is less interesting than prologue skip.
Yeah, look, I don't know if I can get behind this, but like one day I hope that I can prologue skip as well as these two runners can.
And oh, we've got a rhino now. No, rhino, no,
Oh, Rano, he's gone.
no. Why?
I think we get to see some more rhinos later on. Um, yeah, we get to see like one other rhino.
Yeah, I like rhinos. But yeah, instead of rhinos, now we've got Sane. This little blue ball that's following Ori and hitting enemies.
Imagine if you were just like riding on a rhino instead.
Dude, that
You
would be
know,
cool.
instead of picking up sign, you just picked up a rhino and just started like swinging it at Frunkies.
It would be like the minecarts from Ori 2 trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
And
pretty
well,
cool. But instead, we've got Ori and the Blind Forest, and we've got the best part of Ori and the Blind Forest, which is Glades, where we get to see everybody have, some fantastic pickup animations here. Infinite's already decently behind. I'm not
yeah,
sure where he's taken,
he's
lost so
been
much time.
he's been getting the pickup animation on the bouncing pads, so that's quite a bit of time loss here.
Yeah.
But he's still
Yeah, I
following
guess
the do.
he's,
It's nothing too significant for now.
oh no, definitely not. It's just a little bit wider of a gap than I had expected. But definitely, if you're a little bit slower with your scrolling at the Fronky fight, and then you are unlucky with the pickup animations, then you're just going to lose time. Just like the game just laughs at you, really. Like there's nothing that you can do about it. Infinite's gonna pick up a little bit of time going for this insta drop. Dedew is just going to play it a little bit safer. And yeah, there's like, I don't know, 2 seconds difference between our two runners at this stage, really.
Yeah,
Nothing
really
of
2 or 3
consequence.
seconds difference. They've both taken their first keystone that won't be used immediately, and Dedew is diving towards this double jump.
Double jump.
Well, wall jump, sorry. But it's jump, it's the same thing, it's a double jump on
You've
a
been
wall.
playing, you've been playing too much rando episode. Like, first you were
Okay.
saying that you're in the Gitzo escape. Like, I don't know if I've even seen the area, and now you're saying that we're already gonna get double jump. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, wall jump acquired
Yeah.
by Dedew and then by Infinite, going to go and get an energy cell on the left, and Then going to our second favorite area, Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, I mean it's probably my favorite instead of my second favorite. Like I think I way prefer Blackroot over, you know, anywhere else in the game. It's why I spend so much time there. As you know, the restream is even giving us a quick insight into what it looks like in BRB, which is pitch black. So both our runners are making their way over there now. Infinite does seem to have caught up, you know, decently well. Definitely closer than 2 or 3 seconds at this stage. And we'll see how they go through Blackroot Burrows. Hopefully there'll be less going on in this race than there was in the last one.
Well, there are tons of little places where you can save like a fraction of a second here and there, so Infinite definitely is catching up a bit to Dedew, but it's still not enough to be in the lead right now. They will both enter BRB with that little cutscene skip, using the ability tree, saving while the cutscene is starting, and reloading the game. The game thinks you've seen the cutscene, so it just lets you go, but still plays that little annoying slow zone at the entrance.
Yeah, it's like you've seen it, but like I don't fully trust that you've fully seen it, so I'm just gonna make you walk slowly through it anyway. And that's gonna
Yeah.
remain, you know, on the way out of Blackroot Burrows, and then again, sort of later on in the game when we make our way and back in. It does look like the gap has opened up a little bit more. You know, even though this area is basically an auto scroller, it seems like there's just time sitting everywhere. You know, we have a new runner, you know, have a look around every like month or so and go, hey, look, I found a new way to get this cycle. It saves like 4 seconds. And everyone in the community is like, oh god, really? Really? I have to learn new strats. I have to kill more runs in Blackroot Burrows. But it looks like Dedew isn't going to be going for fast cycle. And Infinite looks like he's a little bit slow on fast cycle as well. So
Yeah,
we're both on the
going with
same.
normal cycle here. Not going for that
Does-
super fast cycle that involves like going through lasers, having lasers like touching Ori's feet.
Yeah.
Scary sky cycle.
It does look like we're about, you know, a little bit over half an Ori standard unit apart. For those who don't know, an Ori standard unit is 8 seconds. So these cycles are, you know, roughly offset by half. They're like halfway out of phase. So we say that they're, you know, half an Ori standard unit away from each other, and hopefully we'll see Infinite
Oh my god,
get
what
the
Infinite?
cutscene stack.
Infinite just forgot to pick up the orb on the platform, so he jumped on the secondary platform and figured out, oh no, I don't have the orb. So he lost an entire cycle, so one Ori standard unit compared to the Dew here, placing him like 12 or 13 seconds behind. Lost the Dew. The Dew doing the stack on his side, placing the save. Nice little setup on the threshold. Descending, getting the stack, the tree, and he can move during the animation, doing some nice blind movements out of BRB. Infinite doing it on his side too. Same kind of setup. But he will go with a backflip here for style points. Getting the blind movements too, and I think both runners are still pretty close.
We're pretty close. It does look like Infinite. Oh no, and his autosave. He didn't quite menu out in time. He didn't realize that he was at the bottom of Blackroot Burrows early enough. So the autosave went off, and he was at the bottom of Blackroot. So now he's going to have to redo this. And it looks like, you know,
it
all the
looks like
spaghetti's finally getting to him.
50 seconds difference now, I think, judging from what our tracker told us earlier. So Dedew finished Funky Walk while we were watching Infinite having some that spaghetti here and there.
Yeah.
And Dedew
Yeah,
is
it does
reaching
look-
God's cycle now, so it will be interesting to watch while Infinite gets to start his Funky Walk after, well, a bit of time spent in BRB.
He just loves it so much. He just wants to spend more time in there. I think. That's
And
that's
nice
what I
good
like to
cycle.
think what happened. Yeah.
Very nice good cycle from Dedew. Little damage boost, getting a second keystone ready to open the door. We get a nice replay of him doing it. Textbook setup, climbing the wall, dashing, and entering the cycle.
Yeah.
Infinite opening the
Over
door.
on Infinite side, yeah, we really see Magnet coming up big there. No need to do any sort of fancy schmancy setup to make sure that you pick up the XP that you need. It just flies towards you. Does look like Dedew is going to get this blind movement again. Is still a little bit low and does end up eating the spikes. But that's not going to change the fact that when he treated the double jump tree, he was 14 seconds ahead of his PB. So this is another really good time coming out of Dedew to have two early games like a no reset setting, and both of them being ahead of PB. It was really good to see from Dedew.
The next hit Ginso trying to go for the baguette jump. Losing quite a bit of time here on the baguette jump, but gets it third try. Infinite doing the ghost door, reaching the tree. He will be like 1 minute behind Dedew when reaching double jump, which will be very hard to catch up.
Yeah,
But still,
I mean,
well,
at least
it's not the end yet.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's still very early in the run, right? Like, it sort of boggles the mind to think that, hey, double jump is literally a third of the way through the run. We just spend that much time in Glades and Blackroot Burrows. But, there's so much opportunity for time loss, in the rest of the game that, I wouldn't be surprised to see this gap rather shrink. I'm not sure if I would expect it to close all the way, especially with a couple of grotto skip attempts. But anything can happen with so much of the run left to go.
Yeah, especially when we're reaching the mid game, and the mid game can be very unforgiving in this game. Some places are very troublesome sometimes. For example, Ginso that Lost Dodo is reaching now, getting first a little cell that will be used later for Terra Break in Sorrow. Then he enters a swamp and goes towards Ginso, and Ginso has tons of little things that can get in your way. Like the first mini boss can be quite a bit of a pain. All the jump and the cycles climbing up can make him lose quite a bit of time overall. So let's keep an eye on Dedew while Infinite climbs Grotto and tries to, well, catch up whatever time he can here.
Yeah, Infinite, definitely making his way up pretty well, through Grotto. Sort of, I wouldn't expect to see too much go wrong, from here on out. Once there's only so much, bad things that can happen, right? And then you just go, oh, okay, cool, I'll just play the game. And it looks like Infinite has sort of taken that approach. He's had a pretty clean enter Ginso so far. As over on the left, we see
gotten the Rasmus cycle on the Jimmer here. So like
did
2 seconds.
Did save 2 seconds on that game of fast cycle. A little bit risky to go for it. You have to do the dashes on those platforms, and Ori likes to send you off the platforms when you dash into them. It does make it pretty easily, as Infinite's just about to enter the Ginso tree for himself.
And Infinite may have some troubles with health and energy management since he took damage on the crushers near the teleporter under Ginso. So this can make him lose a few seconds here and there in Ginso, especially if he's not going for the fast cycle in the puzzle room that Dedew just did. Or I don't know how we will exactly deal with it.
Yeah, so because he's got regroup, I believe the name of the ability is, so now he's collected some more health, as we can see, as he's very kindly turned the UI on for us. He was on 3, he's now down to 1 after taking that damage boost. So I'd say that after the mini boss, he may just have to place a save down to ensure that he's on 3 health. But I feel like this should be pretty clean from Infinite on the way out.
Yeah, he
Meanwhile-
dealt with it perfectly while Dedew was getting Bash here. Though Bash is like an iconic ability in this game that allows you to bounce off of projectiles, lanterns, enemies, whatever, throw them wherever you want to throw them. And you will abuse a little glitch with it called Double Bash that control players have troubles with, to say the least.
Well, most do. Infinite does have a method to, he binds his right stick and uses the snapback to sort of time that. Even though, just while we're talking about Bash, Infinite deciding to spend, or unfortunately spending a little bit more time without Bash as he takes an unfortunate death in that mini-boss room, is going to be collecting Bash probably at around about the same time as Dedew is leaving the top of the Ginso tree.
Yeah, Dedew has done a very clean Kijub. He still had a little bit of trouble dying to Kijub the first time, but it was pretty much okay. Now he's killed the boss, the second mini-boss rather, while Infinite is having to kill the first mini-boss again after taking a painful death. And Dedew is now leaving, still on a very good pace, going towards Stomp in the Thornfell Swamp. And yeah. The lead has just gotten even bigger than before.
Yeah, looks like both of us have enacted a small caster curse onto Infinite, me saying that I don't think that there'll be any issues, from double jump onwards, and you saying that there might be some issues with health management, but Infinite, still taking it in his stride, made his way to the Bash tree, and hopefully we'll be able to see some more clean movement from him on the way out. Whereas we see on the left, Dedew using Bash to its full effect, completing Swamp Entry super easily.
Yeah, and we've got the information at Bash. It was about a 2-minute difference between both players. So Dedew is quite in the lead here. He's playing very well, getting a 16-10 Stomp. So I'm not sure if he's still on PB pace here, but
he
is maybe
still on
not
PB
too
pace.
far.
Yeah, so his PB has a 16:27 Stomp, so he's ahead by 15 seconds ish. So hopefully we'll see if he can hold on to this, and once again it's very impressive to see Dedew have sort of 2 consecutive runs where at the halfway point he's still not running to actually have a PB.
Amazing consistently from Dedew on both races here. Infinite on his side has killed the mini-boss after sadly failing the hyperspeed. He's teleporting towards Grotto, getting ready to enter Swamp the same way Dedew did with Ringo. And Dedew just went through a cutscene that, well, we didn't see here. The Cura cutscene. Very cleanly, and he's now reaching the next tree, so he's keeping quite a consistent 1 or even a bit more than 1 tree of advantage compared to his opponent.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if Infinite is able to get a clean Swamp Entry, while over on the left, Dedew has a... What is that? Eyes, could you work, please? That's a 1955 Charge Flame in his PB. No, that's incorrect. 1807. My mistake. So it looks like Dedew is still significantly ahead of his PB, as on Infinite side, we get half of a phase shot, going on the way through, but does manage to hit that trigger on the way back down. So Infinite is free to go into Swamp.
Yeah, and Infinite looks to be pretty unlucky with hyperspeed here. The first one he missed, I don't know if he's usually going for this one. It kinda looked like it, but kinda didn't look like it at the same time. But he's safely reaching Stomp, and I think that's the most important thing here. He will need a very clean run to have a chance, well, a clean mid to late game I should say, to have a chance to catch up on Dedew here and to keep us going for a third race, maybe. But for now, Dedew is still playing extremely cleanly, he's actually insanely consistent, going through all these spikes here, ready for fast Dauntless, will be aiming a projectile. There we go, that looked very good. He's going
Looks
down
fine to
here.
me.
Mm,
Meanwhile, on the right, we see Infinite using Ringo again, and will now be making his way to not see Kuro. Meanwhile, on the left, we do see Kuro as Dedew managed to get a first try fast Stompless shot.
clean Kuro cutscene skip from Infinite here. He's going to go and reach out for the next tree, which is Charge Flame. After getting this little cell here, while Dedew gets the Kuro Feather. So yeah, hitting birds, taking their feather and gliding allows us to go fast. Infinite the double bashes. Oh my god, he did it! What a god.
God. Yeah, it looks like, Infinite's sort of gone, alright, I'm gonna have to pull out all the strats to, make up some time here. There's been a little bit of spaghetti, so let's
God,
just see what
no.
I can do.
No, he couldn't save anywhere during the animation, so... Well, it's not catastrophic, but usually you want to be able to do so.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can be lucky and, like, on the way back down, you're able to catch it. But we'll see. Dedew, meanwhile, is making their way into charge jump. Does look like their PB has a 20:45 charge jump, so it looks like he's about 15 seconds ahead of PB, which is a super solid effort. Does leave a little bit of time for, a couple of movement flubs here and there, which, I wouldn't be surprised to see given the nerves of good pace plus tournament race, plus last race was, there was a bit of spaghetti in this last half. So we'll see how cleanly Dedew was able to get it. Meanwhile, Infinite on his way up, about to fight the bird boss, and will then be shooting a spider shot at the rocks above Kuro's head. We'll see how Infinite manages with this shot. I believe he's swapping to KBM here, and in fact he is.
Yes,
Just using a super easy visual cue there.
Aimed very well here. I used this visual cue to aim too, so I know this one hit the mark. Getting him feather here, while Dedew has gotten the Sunstone. Well, we didn't see anything because, skipping the cutscene and playing behind an essay, it's very complicated for, well, someone who's not used to the game to understand what's happening.
Oh,
And
no.
Dedew taking a painful death on Sorobash. Sorry, exit rather.
Yeah, the same death, happens in a slightly different way. But unfortunately, that's probably going to be the end of the PB pace here from Dedew. Obviously, he's still well on track to continue to win this race, as our runners actually have a bit of a high five here through the Sorry Pass elbow. Infinite on his way in, as Dedew is on his way out. Yeah, really unfortunate death from Dedew, especially, given that, he had a very similar death in the previous race, happened under slightly different circumstances, but died in the exact same spot. But, the rest of his Misty has seemed super clean. It doesn't look like that's impacted him mentally at all, as both our runners are just going to chillax for a second or so in a little cutscene.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Dedew isn't anymore on PB pace. He might be tied or kinda close to it. Infinite on his side goes towards, the Sunstone, the same way Dedew did, so we're not seeing much behind this save anywhere. He's going to go and place a save under the roof here, going to charge dash into the spike, keeping the charge dash state when respawning and destroying the roof with it. Now going towards the Sunstone. It's kinda slow, but you don't have any other way to go there than using Curse Feather on the wind. In the meanwhile, well, Dedew has been playing very well. Misty is very clean, at least the first part was. The second looks to be very, well, masterfully executed too. So no problem here. Maybe a little low on energy.
Yes, does look like Dedew is a little bit low on energy, and I may have called, may have written Dedew off a little bit quickly, as he's around 6 seconds actually behind his PB at Climb. So we'll see if he's able to make up any of that time in this split. Has definitely been done a lot more cleanly this time. No issues navigating the elbow for Infinite, as he's about to make his way through Misty, although that's all good. So both of our runners are about to have yet another high five through there. Dedew once again on the way out, as Infinite is on his way in.
Yeah, and they basically have one Misty of difference, which is quite a lot at this moment. It's starting to become hard to believe Infinite will be able to catch up to Dedew. But Dedew is now entering back into BRB, this, well, kinda awful place that cost a minute to Infinite in the early game. He will be doing a little glitch with this lever here in order to, well, continuously open the door on the right, going down and going to reach Grenade by doing some nice little movements and through the cycles here.
Yeah, by sort of rekindling while you've got it pulled, you sort of trick the game into thinking that it's constantly being pulled. We'll have another time check, I'm sure, as Dedew collects his grenade tree. Infinite on the way out does eat 2 damage from that falling slime, and then doesn't end up killing that Fronky. So this is definitely some movement that we're getting from Infinite, as he's unfortunately already down to 2 energy, making his way back through. Dedew on the left did get a fast cycle on the way out, but decides to rocket jump into some spikes. I don't know if that's what I would want to be doing, especially when you're only 5 seconds behind your PB at Grenade. We'll see if Dedew is able to make any more of this time back up.
Infinite throughout the run has been kind of shaky on some movements, little mistake, taking little damage here, which has prevented him from saving time when Dedew makes little mistakes here and there. But now he will be going to an important one-shot, missing it here on the mini-boss. The bank zone didn't go through. He jumped a bit early, I think, or he wasn't exactly well placed compared to the boss. But well, he ends up killing the boss, not dying, not taking this awful death that some other runner has taken.
Who would take a death there? It wouldn't be me. I would never die there. Looking like Infinite though is unfortunately yet again not quite having enough energy to level up at that Misty mini boss. I didn't quite manage to catch exactly how far behind Dedew is from his PB. Looks like it's skyrocketed up to
Our tracker is saying 3 to 4 seconds, so he actually gained time despite the charge jump into the spikes on BRB. And now he's going for the blind movements in the final escape, doing them very well. He's gotten control back of the camera. He will be going through the elemental room. He has 2 energy, so he can burn 1 on the charge dash here. Racing against the fish cycle here. He's got a nice placement. The fish should not be a problem. The final swim is done very well, climbing through this last area, getting ready for the grenade jump, placing it himself in first try. Oh my god, no!
Oh no! No! Not like this! Not like this!
I think...
Alright, we'll see.
I think he's got that weird bug where if you dash towards the left, you get this soft lock when you grenade jump, even if you're in the right position.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lime Storage, I believe, is we're going, the name that we've sort of soft given it. Looks like we're still thought of sorting out the exact details of that. But yes, unfortunately, Dedew would have soft locked that if he did continue with the final escape there. So instead decided to reload to ensure that he didn't soft lock, maintains his lead, as Infinite, is really not all that far behind. So we'll see if Dedew manages to get the grenade
He's
jump this
jumped
time.
here, so the grenade jump will go through if he can just do it right.
If he gets it.
The nerves are probably hitting very hard, and nice grenade jump.
Yeah.
Dedew will be winning this BO3 here. Infinite on his side, going with a little backward jump into dash. He doesn't have enough energy here, getting one nice energy from the I don't know how you call it, a blob, a slime.
Yeah, the slime, yeah. Very
So
French
now
of
he
you to
has
say.
what he needed for. Oh my god, he had what he needed for the the warm skip, but sadly he used it all here, so he won't be doing the warm skip. He will be entering final escape, watching the cutscene of Kuro, attacking this huge ball of warmth.
But first, we have the true final boss, Door Warp. Everyone's favorite trick.
and
Just
he's
like
got
how
it.
BMP is my favorite zone, Dual Warp is my favorite trick, but Infinite does manage to get it without losing all that much time. It is going to just be making his way through the final escape.
Yeah, the final escape will be starting after Kuro just shouts at us here. Ori running quickly to the side, charge jumping, dashing. Is he doing the grenade jump here? Oh my god, no! Alright, that.
Oh no! It's
Ah!
unfortunate. Thankfully, though, Infinite isn't doing one skip. There are some issues where if you get one skip and then die, you can have some issues with your save. Thankfully, we didn't see that issue on Dedew's side, and we're not going to see that on Infinite's side either, as he has decided that, no, okay, that's enough memes. Let's just finish this race off. Finish it off with a quick 0-2. And get on with the rest of my day, as he's going to jump off the wall to avoid getting into a similar state to Dedew, and is going to get a first try grenade jump to finish off his race.
G Infinite finishing the race with a low 32, I think, or a high 31, I'm not sure. Not that bad of a run, despite, well, the heavy mistakes, especially the early fall into BRB, which I think had quite the impact on him. We can ask him just after that if he's up for an interview. What kind of mindset he had after, well, making that mistake there.
Yeah, we're actually just seeing in the speedrunning chat that apparently Infinite has no idea how the magnet XP route works, because both times, it was very short. Looks like 10ish XP, underneath, 10 XP too low from leveling up. But it does look like we have both of our runners here for an interview, so we'll see if we can get their thoughts on this match. It looks like both of them have just been pulled in. GG, of course, to Dedew winning 2-0, and of course, GG to you as well, Infinite.
Yeah, GG. GG Infinite.
So, probably my first question will go to Dedew. Both of your runs today were both super close to your PB. The first race that sort of died around Kuro cutscene skip, it sort of started to fall apart, and then obviously missing the first fast stompless run, fast stompless shot, and then in the second race, you're well ahead, and then you had an unfortunate death for the second time in a row, coming out of of sorrow. So, what are your thoughts on having such consistent runs for them both to die at basically the same spot?
I'm really happy with the runs actually. Really consistent, and the time I lost was like due to some like unfortunate tests. Like it's funny because you keep practicing like all the hard tricks, the hard segments, and then you keep staying elsewhere to like some easy trick or just something you didn't practice, or it's just small mistakes everywhere. But yeah, I'm actually very happy with my runs, and especially my early game consistency. Usually I am very bad in the early game. That's where all my time save is in my PB. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad that my runs died like at some point, like around Sorrow, because I didn't have to worry about like being on PB based anymore. Because even with updates, I know my times, I know what my time save is, and at least like, after using like 20 seconds to do dying Sorrow, I was like, okay, PB is based anymore, now I just focused on doing this and finish for the time.
After that death, you were 6 seconds behind the BBC, so it was there was probably still a chance for you to PB.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Like I felt like I was at least 15 seconds behind or something, but I guess it makes sense. There's no time saved really in my game, so I knew like that people would be really hard.
Yeah, I guess bouncing off what you said, and sort of totally, you sort of had your share of spaghetti in these two races, particularly in the early game. The early game for game 1 was a little bit unfortunate, and then obviously like Rose in game 2. So obviously it's unfortunate that things like leveling up the top sort of happen in these sorts of races. So that affects your total, particularly in game 1.
In game 1, really, it's only a few seconds time loss, so it didn't matter that much. In game 2, the PRP death impacted a lot. I just knew the race was over when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, you could see going for not really going for stretch, but it just looked like you were just getting infinity on a bunch of weird things. Like the so many bosses, for example. Obviously can be difficult once you know the race is not exactly going super well to like maintain system performance.
Yeah, I started thinking out something. Like I was not fully attention to the game. I have no idea how I press A to land the spikes in the boss. Oh well.
I'm being photographing some shoe on Twitch, which is also it's a little bit difficult for us to very much continue to view. Still for the record, Infinite on the second race, you've had a lot of little spaghettis, like very small mistakes here and there, taking the damage, hitting an enemy. Were these a result of your nervous? Well, maybe was it because you were nervous after that PRP mistake, trying to catch up, going faster than usual?
I think I was more tilted than nervous. But yeah, the tilt kind of made those mistakes happen.
Well, Dedew, since you've won this race, you will be playing your next match against the winner of White Balls versus Ronnie. How do you feel about playing one of these players?
The matches get harder like every round. I guess my opponent's PB like increases by like a minute, or like gets a minute better like every run. Like if it's Ronnie, if it's Ronnie, then the PB is gonna increase by like 2 minutes. So it's gonna be really hard to win against either Ronnie or even White Paws. Like I guess White Paws has a similar level to Infinite. If you look at the PB, I guess. So we didn't have like any very close races today, but like it could definitely happen against Ronnie or White Paws, and really excited to, I guess, to keep practicing on my consistency, because if I plan on winning against either of them, I think consistency is the key, because we're in the best of 3 stage now, so I guess if I have like a one bad race, then it doesn't really matter as long as I have 2 other really good ones.
All right, thank you
guess-
for.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess one other thing, sorry to interrupt you there, Abso, is now that we're in the semi-finals, you've also automatically qualified for at least the third place match. So I also just wanted to get quickly your thoughts on Rin versus Luster and how you think that race is going to go.
Rin versus Luster.
You mean Primarix versus Luster, don't you?
Oh my god, I'm looking at my predictions, aren't I? Unbelievable. Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be Rin against Luster in semifinals. 100%.
God damn it.
Yes, the French predictions, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I would really like to have at least one match against a Frenchie. Probably in bronze match, but like I guess it could be in finals as well. We'll see. But yeah, could be really fun. And also, I lost to Primarix at the last Soulscars tournament when he still had like a 35-minute PB or something. And I want to get my revenge, and I didn't get to do that yet since he is on the other side of the bracket. So hopefully I will be able to face either Primarix or a Frenchie. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed at this point, right? Yeah.
All right, thank you for your answers, guys. We are going to stop the interview here. The next matches are on Sunday, White Pulse versus Ronnie at 6 p.m. UTC or 2 p.m. EST, and Primarix versus Luster on at 9 p.m. UTC or 5 p.m. EST, depending on your time zones. I would like to thank everyone who participated in this cast. So, of course, the runners, Dedew and Infinite, OG who commentated both races, Jill who commentated the first race, the person who died who was our trucker giving us information throughout the run, and our streamer Griff. Thank you guys. And well, that will be all, sorry.